Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is COLM McGuigan for IFLTV. Go on.
Oh, you're a cheeky little fucker, so you are.
Why do you always do a southern accent for me? I don't mind it, but you actually just can't do mine. Go.
Cheeky little fucker, so you are.
You've done the exact same thing again.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
It's horrendous.
how you doing there now, Colm? What about that one?
No, do you remember you done the Macrofelt? That was actually half decent.
What?
Why did you go there again?
What?
Remember you went to Macrofelt for a fight before?
What are you talking about? WWE?
We spoke about this before, and you said, forget, but you said to me at the time, you were like, oh, I actually did go there with, I'm trying to think who the
Paul
McCluskey.
Yeah, Paul McCluskey.
So you did go to Macrofelt.
So I did.
Edward,
Edward.
we seen a massive crowd here in Phoenix, Arizona. First of all, you're obviously not surprised by it, but does that entice you to keep coming back here?
Yeah, I absolutely love Phoenix. I mean, it's very hot. And they didn't quite get my sarcastic joke about providing free aircon as part of the ticket price. Can I just say to people that don't know, it's a fucking great story. You know, like how dry British sense of humour is, right? And the sarcasm. For those who don't know, I've done a press conference and I've gone, I would like to officially announce that we've made a decision to give every ticket holder on Saturday free air conditioning in the venue because it's so hot outside. And they were like, well, there's always air conditioning in the venue. It's like, it's a joke. Do you know what I mean? So I'm working on my my American banter. But listen, Phoenix is an incredible fight town, fight city. Every time we've come in, we've done well. Obviously tonight was very, very well. They just understand their boxing. They were here early, very early for the prelims and the free aircon. And yeah, just that the atmosphere was incredible. Like one of the best I've witnessed. And you know, so and they got their money's worth. You know, with a great card full of action and an incredible main event.
Let's first of all speak about RAMLA Ali. That fight was very close. I actually had RAMLA winning by a round. Not that my opinion matters, but in terms of yourself,
You know, I had it like when the final bell went, I was like, it's 96-94 to either fighter or it's a draw. I can't see any other scorecards. And when you hear 98, like it's like scores it 98-92. I'm like, I mean, did they say 98-93 Victor Lothran? How did you get 98-93? It's not 11 rounds. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, and 97-90. I'm thinking, have we got this? Like the neater work was from RAMLA. Like she landed the cleaner shots. She did the tidier work. Sometimes Mercado was the aggressor, but really, I don't know. She's the champion. But anyway, yeah, I thought RAMLA was very unlucky. Not to at least not. You know, if she's going to lose by a point or lose by a split or something like that. But I thought she could have even won the fight tonight. You know, you had her one up, and a lot of people did. So very unlucky not to get more respect on the scorecards.
do you look at doing Mercado Ellie Scottney next?
I think, you know, Ellie will be all over that fight. You know, I think she'd be a huge favourite in that fight. But it just really comes down to, like, unfortunately in boxing, like, you've got to want to unify. Like, if she really wants to unify, the only person to do it against at the moment is Ellie Scottney. As long as she don't ask for ridiculous money, and we don't mind paying her well, but, like, you can talk yourself out or price yourself out of a fight quite easily. So Ellie has got a mandatory coming up, but we'll have to deal with that and see what we can do. But yeah, we want to make the unification between Ellie Scottney and Mercado.
Where do you go from here with RAMLA Ali? Someone who this week seemed very frustrated that she doesn't get a chance to box at home in London.
Yeah.
She said that on numerous occasions to the media this week. Do you think maybe next it is an idea to bring RAMLA home?
I think it's even worth a little note to Maurizio Suleiman to say, you know, I don't think those scorecards are right. Can we get a rematch? So we'll have to see. But, you know, there are fights out there around bantamweight and super bantamweight. A lot of British fighters, you know, around that weight class. Nina Hughes, Ebony Bridges, Shannon Courtney. You know, there's a lot of fighters at 122 and beyond. So we'll have to see. But, you know, she'll be disappointed she didn't get, as I said, more respect on those scorecards.
Sonny Edwards cheered into the ring, got a better reception than his opponent going in, and then was booed out after a performance like that. I know Virgil Ortiz said online that it was a masterclass from Sonny Edwards. What did you think of that? And Sonny obviously quite disappointed he got booed out.
As you saw in the Barrios fight, which I thought was a really entertaining fight, as soon as Barrios went on the back foot, they're boo! So they're never really going to love Sonny Edwards' style, even though it's a style that boxing people and fighters particularly know is very, very good and effective. And, you know, I feel like if you're not really entertaining in the ring, some people just won't like it. I think he could have been a little bit more aggressive, but once that cut came in, it was a horrific cut. So, but basically, he won every round against like a very dangerous guy who was just world champion before his last fight. So, to come back here, get that win, I know he's very disappointed, but he shouldn't be. And you know, we'll be trying to make that Ellie-Yafai fight now.
Well, I was just about to touch on that. I spoke to Sonny after, and he's quite frustrated at Matchroom, he said, because someone at Matchroom told him that they kind of insinuated that they don't think Ellie-Yafai is next. He wouldn't tell me who, but he said someone very high up that they kind of were saying, like, we'll look at other options for you. Just your response to that?
I'll give you a fucking clue. There ain't no one higher up than me. And I'm telling you, we want to make that fight next. So, and, you know, if he feels frustrated at Matchroom, he needs to give his head a shake. I mean, he signed with us. We're giving him a world title shot headlining show. He's come over here to unify. He's come back to fight a co-main event. So he's doing just fine. But as I said, there is no one that makes the decisions above me. And I want to make that fight. I want to make it for the WBC world title. We have to see how quickly he's going to turn around with a cut, because Galal will have to fight. You know, he's not going to wait and wait. But I believe Galal wants that fight. Sonny wants the fight. Let's get it made.
Eddie, obviously we've just seen Bam Rodriguez. If he wasn't already a star, he definitely is now with a performance like that. How good was that fight, first of all?
Yeah, I mean, just how good was his performance? I mean, came out. I knew that Gaio would probably start a little bit slow because he hasn't boxed for over a year. But Jesse looked really heavy-handed. You know, his footwork's so good. But he got caught with a good right hand, flash knockdown, but still a knockdown, 10-8 round. And, you know, I would have loved to have seen the close of that fight because Gaio closes the fight really well. He's really strong down the stretch.
Well, interesting enough, the cards actually were ridiculous in my opinion. Again, because they had ESTRADA up and one they had drawn another. What do you make of that?
I mean, firstly, how can you have anything but Jesse Rodriguez up on that card? Now, look, you can have a 10-8 round. Maybe you can give him another round, maybe, Gaio, but that's about it. So, you know, I understand, you know, I think one of the scorecards was 58-54 to Jesse. You know, I give Gaio the 10-8 round, you know, and maybe one other round. But other than that, it was a 10-8 round for Jesse. You've got to have him in front of the fight. You know, to see the Mexican judge have Gaio up by 1 round, up 1 point. He gave Jesse Rodriguez 2 rounds in the whole fight. Like, bizarre. And the other one was a draw. It's mental. But, you know, builds up the rematch well because effectively he was coming from behind as far as I'm concerned. Even though, you know, he was dominating the fight, but there was still a lot of the fight left. You know, there was the championship rounds and there was the closing stretch. And notoriously, El Gallo is very strong in those areas.
Jesse was asked about Inoue. He said that's a fantasy fight. Is that a fight that you look at and maybe Turkey Al Sheikh looks at and says, you know, that's the type of fight we want to see?
His Excellency, he would have watched tonight because he watches everything. But I hope he sees the quality of Jesse Rodriguez. I know he's, I'd say, not a fan of the lower weights, but he likes his heavyweights. But he needs to look at the guys like Jesse Rodriguez because that's a pound-for-pound star. For me, this is a guy that's top 5 pound-for-pound in the world right now. I think the Inoue fight is a bit of a fancy fight. You know, a little bit like Inoue against Tank. You know, it's a bit of a fancy fight as well, but we like fancy fights, and so does His Excellency. Jesse will get to 122, but it's just a case of when. And right now, he's still some way away from that. He's 2 divisions below, but he's young, and he's rising fast.
Talk to me a little bit about the matchroom schedule over the next few weeks. Very busy. You're kind of everywhere. I take it you won't be in Japan because you've got Philly? Or?
Yeah, I won't be. Frank will be in Japan for our first show there. Obviously, prize fighter there. So obviously next week we're in the Copper Bosch for Johnny Fisher against Alan Babbage. We're going to have close to 7,000 in there. It's going to be absolutely wild. Obviously England are playing tomorrow. If we win there, we play at 5 p.m. on the day of the Johnny Fisher fight. So yeah, it's going to be mental. And then straight back to Philadelphia for the big Boots card. You know, huge crowd there in Philadelphia. Henry LeBron against Pitbull Diaz. Sky Nicholson defending her world championship again. Jalil Hackett as well, great young star, great signing. Khalil Cohen, a really good fight, great card. And then we've actually got 2 Saturdays off, which is quite wild. Well, we've got Prize Fighter in the middle. And then we're August 3rd, Riyadh season, Los Angeles, massive show. And then August 24th will be Catterall against Prograis. This Wednesday coming in Manchester will be the press conference for Catterall Prograis, open to the public as well. That's August 24th. August 31st, looks like there'll be a show in Mexico. And then we go into September. There'll be a Dalton Smith fight to be announced shortly in September. And of course, September 21st, Riyadh season, Wembley. And lots more. We're adding a big fight to the schedule in October as well, as I said to you the other day.
Last one from me. We've seen Riyadh season do a deal with UFC for the Sphere. Will you be looking to do some sort of deal maybe with Riyadh season to go to the Sphere? Because you have spoke about it before and said
Yeah, I believe that's a sponsorship of the event. So we already have our own sponsorship deal in place with Riyadh season. That's why you see it all over our events. But yeah, I mean, look, we're blessed to be part of the Riyadh season events. You know, we've got September 21, we've got August 3rd, and then we're back in Riyadh October 12th for Better Be Ever against Bivol, and then December 21st for Fury Usyk. So I'm sure there's loads more to come. Can't really do much more than we're doing at the moment, but we'll give it a good go. Cheers!
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.